Now, before going into the automation, let us see what is meant by testing. Everyone, are you aware with manual testing? Do anyone is new to manual testing? If there are anyone who is new to manual testing, I will take you a separate session. I know Mayank, Devapriya and Gayatri are working. Vaishnavi is also working. I guess Vaishnavi and Navata is also. No. Who is that? No. Vaishnavi. You don't know anything about manual testing also? Testing. Okay, fine. I will take 1 hour some separate session for you, Vaishnavi. How to write manual test cases, how to work with the manual testing. Then we can come to automation. Okay. Before going to that, let us see what is meant by testing. Testing. What is testing on your perspective? Other folk, you can answer. What is meant by testing? Why we need to test the application? Mayank, can you answer? Yeah, Mayank, are you there? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Good. Good answer. Testing. I can tell. Testing is a set of process which involves of finding out the bugs. To brief what you have said, right? Finding out the bugs and making the product as quality free. Earlier days, everyone used to test that manually. Even now, a lot of them used to test that manually. For example, if you want to test a product, for example, I am testing a product called Gmail. To test that product called Gmail, there might be 1,000 test cases. I want to go through those 1,000 each and every test case and test the product and certify that the product is bug free. On an average, an employee can test 30 test cases per day. 30 to 40 test cases per day. How many test cases an employee can test? 30 to 40 test cases. 40 test cases. In that case, if they want to test 30 to if they are testing 30 to 40 test cases per day, if they want to test the entire Gmail product which has 1,000 test cases, how many employees are required, Devapriya? No. Only 1,000 test cases are there to test Gmail product. On an average, 30 to 40 test cases can be tested by an employee. How many employees are required? 100 in the sense they can test 3,000 to 4,000 test cases. 50 also 1,500 they can test. 1,500 to 2,000. It requires 30 to 35 employees. 30 to who is this answering? Devapriya, is this? Okay. 30 to 35 employees are required. See, if they want to test that Gmail product, they need 30 to 35 employees, and if that product is withstanding for next 20 years, they have to maintain this employee strength of 30 to 35 employees throughout that 20 years of the lifetime, 20 years of the time. Am I correct? Yes. Now, in that case, if you automate those 1,000 test cases, right? If you automate those 1,000 test cases, we can remove all the 30 employees and we can have only one employee to test the entire product, entire Gmail product. One employee can run the entire 1,000 automation test cases and get the results of those, analyze those results and give the results to the development team. If they automate those automate those 1000 test cases. How to do that automation and how to reduce that why we are going to, what are the other reasons why we are going to do it through automation, why we want to automate the test cases, why we want to learn the automation? Can you give some scenarios why we want to automate that, why not to continue with manual itself? Good, to reduce the human effort. Any others? No need to do again by manually. Automation code will do that. Yes. Gayatri, are you getting what I'm telling? Yes, yes. Yeah, tell me, Devapriya. Do regression also can be done by automation itself? We no need to involve at all? Yes. How we are going to achieve all these things? That is what we are going to learn in automation. We can reduce the time as well. If you are testing that 1000 test cases manually, we require almost 1 day to complete that. But through automation code, we can run that 1000 test cases in 4 hours and we can submit the results. 4 hours, 3 hours, however the time is possible, we can test in that time itself and we can give them the results. We can give them the results. Okay, that is how it can be achieved through automation. What we can do in automation. Now, what are the automation to reduce the time and manpower? We are using automation. What are the tools what you know in automation? Selenium, good. QTP. Any other tool? Any other tools? Anyone can answer. Mayank, do you know any other tools? Good. Test complete. I have worked on this tool also. Test complete. I have worked on a tool called Renorex. There is a tool called Rational Robot by IBM. Rational Robot. Mayank, are you there? Yeah, you're there, right? I'm asking, do you know any other tools? Odes by Oracle. Okay, fine. If you know, just answer. Or else. Odes by Oracle. There are some, if you come to the market, if you search in the market, right, there are some tens of tools available in the market. Some tens of tools are available. But out of that, everyone, whoever are already aware with automation, they will be knowing with only these two tools. Very few of them will know one or two more tools. These are the widely used tools. These two tools are very widely used, Selenium and QTP. Am I correct? Selenium and QTP. Why these two tools are very widely used and what are the difference between these two tools? That is what we are going to see now. Most of, see, this Selenium is this QTP is the masters who have invented the strategy called automation first of all. Later on, Selenium came into the existence. HP is the company which invented this QTP in the year 2000 itself. In the year 2000 itself. Whereas Selenium has invented in the year 2004 by ThoughtWorks. But by the invention of Selenium, the usage of QTP had got reduced day by day and it came almost to very low level of usage. Very low level of usage. There is a lot of difference between these two tools which tends everyone to use this Selenium rather than using this QTP. Let us take the statistics. When we take the statistics of around 2004 to 2005, right? 2004 to 2005, the percentage of usage of tools, 70% of the companies are using QTP at the time. in the year 2004 and 2005. 20% of the companies are using Selenium and 10% of the companies are using other tools. Whereas if we take the present statistics 2015 to 2016, %70 of the companies are using Selenium and 20% of the companies are using QTP and 10% of the companies are using other tools. Are you able to see my blackboard clearly? Yes. Yes. See, there is a huge difference between the usage of this QTP. There is a tough competition between this QTP and Selenium, right? That is what we come to see here. There is a tough competition between the Selenium and QTP over the span of 8 to 10 years. From 2004 to this 2016, 8 to 12 years, there is a tough competition between the tools. There are some huge differences which tends, most of them, those who are using QTP, it tends to use Selenium. What are those differences? That is what we are going to see in the upcoming topic. What are those differences? Let us list out those differences. If you want, you can take down the notes. It is very, very helpful. Might be after 2 or 3 days of sessions, I am going to start you programming. At the time, for sure, you want to take down. Keep a separate notes for this. 100 pages of notes. And take down, you have to make it like a Bible and you have to read that regularly. Then only you can achieve that. Keep a separate notes. If you don't have today, at least from tomorrow, try to follow this. Few of them, though you might not be following, just ask the students, those who have referred you, how much it will be helpful. After 4 or 5 more days of the classes, they will be starting taking down the notes. My humble suggestions, start to take from the day 1 itself. Okay, let us see the differences between Selenium and QTP. Selenium, QTP. Okay, what are the differences, what you know, the difference between Selenium and QTP, can you tell me? Good, good. That is a major difference. Selenium is an open source tool. Mayank, are you there? And QTP is a paid tool. Yeah. It's breaking. Are you using the mobile network? Okay. Okay. Fine. I'll go a little bit slow so that you can hear. We are looking into the difference between Selenium and QTP. Once you get a normal power, try to connect over the normal power. You can cut and you can ping me so that I will connect you, Mayank. Okay. Difference between Selenium and QTP. As you said, it's an open source tool and it's a paid tool. What is open source and what is paid? Can someone answer? Yes. While we are installing, it won't ask any product key. Selenium doesn't ask any product key. Whereas while we are installing QTP, it asks a 16-digit product key or 12-digit product key. To get that product key, again we want to pay. To buy QTP, we want to pay some 36,000 Indian bucks. 36,000 Indian bucks for 1 year for one system. For 1 year for one system. Whereas Selenium, I can install it for free of cost. That is the major advantage. Any other differences what you know between Selenium and QTP? There are many differences. The Selenium supports all the browsers, whereas this QTP supports only internet later on we can see. The Selenium supports all the operating systems, whereas this QTP supports only Windows. It doesn't support Mac OS, it doesn't support Linux. Are you getting what I am telling? Yes. Gayatri, are you getting what I am telling? Yes, yes. Next. This Selenium supports all the major browsers, whereas this QTP supports only IE browser. The latest version of QTP is supporting other browsers also, but the previous versions it is not supporting. This is one of the drawback. See, I buy it for free of cost and I have these many advantages. I buy it for free of cost and I have these many advantages still. Any other difference? If you know Java code, you can start writing your Selenium script. Or else if you know .NET code, you can start writing your Selenium script. Or else if you know Python, you can start writing your Selenium code. Or else if you know Ruby, you can start writing your Selenium code. If you know any one of these 4 languages, you can start writing your Selenium script. Whereas if you want to work with QTP, must ensure you should know VB scripting. It supports only VB scripting. It doesn't support any other programming language. Out of these 4 languages, any one of the language you would have covered during your college curriculum, so that it will be easy to start working with Selenium. Are you getting what I am telling? Yes. Yes. Next. See, the size of this software is just 28 MB. Size of the Selenium software is just 28 MB. Whereas the size of this QTP is 1.5 GB. 1.5 GB. If you want to load this into your heap memory for you need at least 2 GB of RAM. You need to have basic configuration at least. Whereas if you have old Pentium 1 machines, that is more than sufficient to work with Selenium. Don't take down. I will give you time to take down the notes. Just listen. See, I buy it for free of cost and I have these many advantages. Why someone will start using QTP? That's why these are some of the reasons why they will migrate to Selenium from QTP. See, past this difference between Selenium and QTP for some time. I will come back to this topic again. I am going to guide you on general topic which is required to learn these differences. Okay, let us pause this for some time. Let us pause this and come back to this topic later. Okay, I have a website. I have a website called abc.com. I have username, text box. I have password text box. Mayank, are you able to see my blackboard? It's because of network. Not a problem. I will correct it. I mean, once you connect with the normal network, you will get it. I will give this video. Not a problem for you. This is the website what I have. abc.com. I have username, I have password, and I have login button. I want to test the login scenario of this abc.com. How can you test it, Devapriya? Where can I put the username first? How can I get the username text box? No, no. I mean, I need to open the URL before that, right? Before opening the URL, I need to open the browser, right? Yeah, follow from there. Yeah, you open the URL, okay? Then follow from your steps what you have said. Okay. Yeah. Yes, fine. Enter the username where? In the username text box. Yes, yeah. Enter the username in the username text box, then enter the password in the password text box. Click on login button. Click on these are the things and login page should open. This is what. First, I need to open the browser. Next, I need to open the URL abc.com. Then, enter the username in the username text box. Enter the password in the password text box. Then, click on login button. Then, click on login button. When you are entering the username, Vaishnavi and Navata, are you getting what I am telling? Yes, yes. Okay, fine. Now, when if I want to enter the username in the username text box, when I want to enter the username in the username text box, first you need to identify the username text box, then you want to perform some typing operation there. Am I correct what I am telling, Navata? Yes. First, I need to identify the username text box, then perform some typing operation. Then identify the password, then perform some typing operation. To do any automation work, first you need to identify the element. Second, perform action on it. These are the only two steps what you will be doing throughout your automation. You are going to do only these two steps. If you want to click on the login button, first you will identify that element and click on it. Clicking is nothing but performing action on that. If you have some checkbox, remember your password checkbox. If you want to click on the checkbox, first you will identify the element. Next, you will perform action on that element. That is what you will be seeing. To do any automation related activity, you will be following only these two steps. Very important. What are those two steps? Can you tell me? Identify the element and perform action on the element. To identify the element, we use a technique called element locators. To identify the element. Unless you identify the element, we cannot perform action on the element. To do automation, we need to first identify the element. If you have a radio button, if you want to click on the radio button, first we need to identify the element and perform action on it. If you have a link, we will identify the element and perform action, click action on that element. Only those two steps we are going to learn for next 35 hours to 40 hours of duration. Only those two steps. Identify the element, and first 3 to 4 sessions we will be learning about how to identify the element. Next we will be directly jumping in how to perform the action on that element. Any element. To identify the element, we will be using element locators. To identify the element. Mayank, are you there? Next. Yeah, each and every one is an element here. Anything inside a web page is an element. Even this username, text is also an element. Not only the text box, anything inside a web page is an element. That is how we treat. Once we go in detail about element locators, that I will let you know at the time. Okay, identify the element and perform action on that element. Those to identify the element, we are going to use element locators. This is some basics about automation. Now, in Selenium, there are 8 element locators. Available in Selenium. Whereas in QTP, we have only one element locator. Available in QTP. If that one element locator fails to identify that element, we cannot automate that scenario itself. Whereas in Selenium, we have 8 element locators. If any one of the element locators fails to identify the element, then we can go with next, or else with the next, like that. Out of those 8 element locators, any one element locator will match to identify that element for sure. Whereas in QTP, only one element locator is there, and there is no alternative at all. Next. These are the advantages of Selenium. Over QTP. Now, see, I buy it for free of cost and I have these many advantages. That's why everyone are using Selenium than using QTP. But still, few companies are using QTP. Why they are using QTP? Why they can't migrate to Selenium? What is the reason? Do someone know why they are using QTP still? Okay, let me answer. The Selenium supports only web applications, whereas this QTP supports both desktop applications and web applications. What is desktop application and what is web application? Can you give me some examples for web applications? Anyone? Web applications example. Yeah, good answer. Who answered that? Navta. Yeah, can you give some examples, Navta? Anything. I'm asking any examples for web applications. Google, Facebook, Orkut, Amazon, Flipkart, all shopping websites. Some crores of websites are there, right? Those are web applications. Can you give some examples for desktop applications? This Excel sheet, VLC media player, Notepad, WordPad, all these things are desktop applications, right? Anything which opens inside the browser is a web applications. Other applications are desktop applications. By using Selenium, we can automate only web applications. If they are developing desktop applications, and if you want to automate that desktop applications, we cannot automate by using Selenium. That's why they prefer QTP. Are you understanding the difference between Selenium and QTP? Yes, these are, yeah. Someone is asking questions? No. Okay. Take down this difference between Selenium and QTP. Yes, you didn't get it? Devapriya, are you able to see this? See my... Yeah, yeah. Okay. Navata, you are unable to see that, right? Oh, very bad. Now I'll stop and share once again. Okay. Yes. When you are unable to see the screen, just let me know. I'll stop and share so that you can see that. Take down this into your notes. Next, we are going to look into Selenium. Today, we can just see the installation, some basics. Yeah, Mayank? Yeah, Mayank. Uh, Today you have the problem with internet, right? Try to have a proper internet from tomorrow's session at least, Mayank. Okay. Make it quick. Once you are done, let me know. Done. Just give an... See, not only now, once we start with, after few more sessions, I will be giving regular notes to you as well as some programs to take down in your notes. Once you finish up, just give an acknowledgement as done, so that I can come to know you have done and I will go to the next topic. Done. 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 Okay. Next, we are going to look into Selenium now. We are going to look into Selenium. What are the different components in Selenium? And what we are going to learn here. See, from basics of Selenium, we have learned about the difference between Selenium and QTP. Now, Selenium comprises of... See, Selenium is invented in the year 2004 by a scientist called Jason Huggins. He is the one who have invented the Selenium. Huggins. And the company which supported the Selenium is ThoughtWorks. ThoughtWorks. Okay. Selenium comprises of three components: Selenium IDE, Integrated Development Environment; Selenium RC, Remote Control; and Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver. These are the three components. Take down into your notes. Selenium IDE, RC, and WebDriver. In the year 2004, they have invented the Selenium IDE. They have found some drawbacks with the Selenium IDE. Then in the year 2007, they have implemented Selenium RC. Again, they have found some drawbacks with Selenium RC. And from the year 2008, they have implemented Selenium WebDriver, where everyone are using Selenium WebDriver even now. Selenium WebDriver is the updated version in our Selenium. We are going to learn completely on Selenium WebDriver. Might be today and tomorrow we will be learning about this Selenium IDE, and directly we will be jumping into Selenium WebDriver, where everything which are there in RC is covered in WebDriver, and Selenium IDE is completely different. Today and tomorrow might be we will be learning this Selenium IDE. Apart from that, we will not be and Selenium IDE is not much important, and no one is using Selenium IDE. There is one small reason why we need to learn this Selenium IDE, that we will understand once we finish up with learning this Selenium IDE. First, today and tomorrow we can practice this Selenium IDE. No need to spend much time on the Selenium IDE. No need to worry about that, because that is not important, and no one in industry uses Selenium IDE. Everyone are using Selenium WebDriver only. Selenium WebDriver only. But we are going to learn Selenium IDE for today and tomorrow, and there is a reason why we need to learn that Selenium IDE also. Okay. Let us go to Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE. What is this Selenium? First, let us see the installation of Selenium IDE and see. First, let us see the installation of Selenium IDE. Later on, we can see what is the Selenium IDE. Normally, when you are installing any tool, how will you install? For example, if you are installing VLC Media Player, how will you install that? Can someone answer? Okay. Download. After downloading, you will download a .exe file. Then, yeah, you will double click on that. You will click on next, and install it. That is how you install any tool, right? But Selenium IDE is quite different. Selenium IDE is quite different. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. Mozilla Firefox browser. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. It supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. Mozilla Firefox browser. But in the difference between Selenium and QTP, we have read as Selenium supports all the browsers, but the Selenium IDE doesn't support all the browsers. It supports only Mozilla. Later on, RC and WebDriver is supporting all the major browsers, whereas the Selenium IDE doesn't support all the browser. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. Okay, add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. Now, let us see the installation procedure of the Selenium IDE and some basics about this Selenium IDE now. Now, I am going to guide you the installation of Selenium IDE. Installation of this Selenium IDE. First, don't take down the notes. Listen very carefully. Then I will give you the notes, clear notes, how to take down everything. First, let us see the installation of Selenium IDE. As I said, this is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. Then go to seleniumhq.org. Go to seleniumhq.org. Go to seleniumhq.org. Then click on this download tab. Carefully listen, I will ask you these questions again. Click on this download tab. Click on this download tab. First, open Mozilla Firefox browser, go to seleniumhq.org, click on this download tab. Here you will find Selenium standalone server, Internet Explorer driver, Selenium client, different subheadings inside. Search for Selenium IDE subheading. Are you getting Selenium IDE subheading somewhere? Yes or no? Devapriya, are you there? See, Selenium IDE. Under the Selenium IDE subsection, click on from addons.mozilla.org. From.addons.mozilla.org. Click on that from.addons.mozilla.org. From addons.mozilla.org. Click on that. It will navigate to different page. Then click on add to Firefox button. Click on add to Firefox button and click on install. Selenium IDE will get installed. And restart now. It will restart only the browser. Because this is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. Now can you guide me how to install Selenium IDE? First open your browser. Then go to seleniumhq.org. Good. Seleniumhq.org. Then you want to do this by today itself. Then click on download tab. Then search for Selenium IDE subsection. Good. Then click on from addons.mozilla.org. Good. Then click on add to Firefox button. Then install. If you click on install, Selenium IDE will get installed. See, once you download and install, once you install that, you will get this icon, Selenium IDE icon here. Even if you are not getting that, no need to panic. Just go to tools. You will get Selenium IDE here. You will get Selenium IDE here, which means that you have successfully installed your Selenium IDE. Once you click on the Selenium IDE, you will get this Selenium IDE tool. You will get this Selenium IDE tool. This is the Selenium IDE tool. Go to tools, click on Selenium IDE, it will open the Selenium IDE tool. Are you getting this? How to install and open Selenium IDE? Yes. Shall we take down the notes? Take down the notes. First, open Mozilla, take down the notes. Mozilla Firefox browser. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. Go to seleniumhq.org. Go to seleniumhq.org. Click on download. Under Selenium IDE subsection, click on under Selenium IDE subsection, click on from add-ons .mozilla.org. Then click on add to Firefox button and install button. That's all about the installation of Selenium IDE. Take down Selenium IDE. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. It supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. And take that. Once you are done, let me know. Done. Others? Done. Okay. Now we are going to see about Selenium IDE. No. Only take down the notes. No need to do that now itself. Once I finish up the class, you can try. Everything, whatever I do here, take down in the notes. No need to practice on the spot itself, because we will be losing a lot of time if you are sitting and practicing. If you get any doubts, you can ping me in Skype. I will be available in Skype till 11 o'clock. Night 11. No, not right away. After finishing the sessions, you can do that. Okay. Now, I have installed Selenium IDE. Go to Mozilla Firefox browser. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. Go to tools. Click on Selenium IDE. Click on Selenium IDE. I have opened Selenium IDE tool. This is the Selenium IDE tool. By default, this is the record button. One more thing I forgot. The Selenium IDE, it is just a record and playback tool. It is just a record and playback tool. Okay. Now let me open this Selenium IDE. I've opened Mozilla Firefox browser and opened this Selenium IDE. See, by default, this is the record button. Record button is in on. Are you getting this? Everyone. By default, the record button is in on. Whatever I do in the browser, that will get recorded here. whatever I do in the browser, that will get recorded here. I am going to open a website called demo.actitime.com. That is not www.actitime.com, that is demo.actitime.com, and enter. I have opened a website called demo.actitime.com. The username, I am going to enter the username as admin. Username as admin. See, when I enter username as admin, it is getting recorded. When I enter password here, manager is the password. I am entering manager as password. That is getting recorded. Whatever the actions I do here, that is getting recorded here, right? Are you getting? Now, if I click on login, that is getting recorded here. Now, if I stop recording here, I am going to stop recording, and if I do something here, will it get recorded? I am clicking on logout. Is it getting recorded here? No, it's not getting recorded here, right? You know how to record this. Click record button here and do whatever you want to do here. It will get record. It will get record. Now run this. By using this button you are going to run. This is the button to run. Okay. Now I am opening a fresh browser here, and if I run, this is the button to run. Play the current test case. Run this. See, I am not doing anything. It will open demo.actitime.com. It enters admin. It enters manager. It will click on login. It will click on login. Whatever the steps, whatever I have recorded, I am able to run that again. Just this Selenium IDE is a record and playback tool. Are you getting this, what I am telling? Yes or no? Can everyone try to install Selenium IDE and try to record and playback a small login test case in this demo.actitime.com? Just to give you the homework, I have said you the installation of the Selenium IDE. Just write these things. You can open Facebook, enter username, password, click on login, record the script, stop recording and run that. While you run, by default this will be in fast mode. By default this will be in fast mode. 1 second. This will be in fast mode. What you do is reduce the speed and run. Reduce the speed to slow and run. Or else if you keep it in fast mode and run, right, it will open demo.actitime.com. Enter admin manager, click on login. It will do very quickly. You cannot see the speed of execution. That's why it is always preferred to put it in slow mode and run that again. Let me run that again. If I put it in slow mode and if I run, it will run properly. Now let me run this. It will open demo.actitime.com. It enters admin, it enters manager, it clicks on login button. This is all about record and playback in Selenium IDE. Let me repeat this once again. From the beginning. What you do, install Selenium IDE, then open Selenium IDE, check whether your record button is in on. Yes, record button is in on. Now go to any website, either facebook.com or gmail.com or demo.actitime.com. Open demo.actitime.com. Do whatever you want. Admin, manager, click on login, and stop recording. Just stop recording. You have generated the script. Oh, I have given wrong. Okay. Now it will. Click on login. That's it. Now, if you run the script again, slow down the speed of execution and run this. It will open demo.actitime.com. Enters admin, manager, click on login. That's it. This login scenario I have automated, right? How to automate other scenarios, everything that we will be covering in the upcoming sessions. So about some basics of testing and automation, and today we will be seeing about Selenium IDE, and daily we will covering one each topic here. Day after tomorrow we will see about the basics of HTML, and next we will see about the element locators, XPath, like that. And this basics of Java will take few days, not only one day. like that. On an average, and few topics I will cover by this drag and drop, we will cover in 15 minutes. On an average, these topics are divided based on 1.5 hour of syllabus. On an average, few topics it will take 4 to 5 days also. And initially we will be learning only the basics of Java, not the complete Java. Again, in between Selenium, we will be learning the Java concepts. Again, not only these Java concepts itself is not sufficient. Again, in between the course, in between the Selenium, we will be learning. And before this, whatever we learn, these are prerequisites what we are going to learn. We will be starting the Selenium concept from here only, from this 9th topic. Okay, and at the end of the course, I will be making you to work on one, making you to work on framework part as well. This is the framework part what you will be learning: data driven framework, TestNG framework, and a hybrid framework, how to work with a real time project, Maven, Jenkins and Cucumber. Everything will be taught to you. This is the content. Just you can, in the first page of your notebook, you can take down the course content, so that after finishing each and every topic you can take, so that if I forgot also, you can just remind me. So this is the topic what you have not taken. As I said already, this will be your first page of your notebook, and last 3 pages allocate for interview questions, so that we can prepare a complete booklet. See, this course content is a overview course content what I have given. Inside each and every topic there are subheadings again. It's not a complete heading whatever I am. For example, if you take today's topic Selenium ID, I will tell you installation of Selenium ID, how to work with Selenium ID, how to save the test case, all these things will be inside each and every topic. There will be subheadings again. Just a overview content to remember what topic we are going to what topic we have learned. Just to have a reference, I am giving this. That's it. Don't think that this is a complete content. Just for the reference purpose, I am giving this. And for sure, completely it will be whatever the topics I am practicing here, you also will be able to do, because I will be making you to work on with real-time scenarios here. See, that is what I said. If you have something in your mind whether we can learn this or not, whether it is difficult or easy or something, just wait for 10 more days. Until that, we will not be entering into actual Selenium at all. Wait till unless I complete this topic. Unless we complete this topic, don't decide anything. Keep coming here, listen whatever I tell, practice the same thing in your home, and if you have any doubts, bring it here. Later on, after finishing this checkpoints topic, then you can decide whether we can learn this or not. Until that, blindly come here, listen and do what I say. That's enough. Right? Next. Have we completed this, everyone? Okay. That is all about our course. Now, yesterday we have learned about what is meant by testing, what is meant by automation, what are the different tools available in automation, and what is the difference between QTP and Selenium. That is what we have learned yesterday. Okay, that is completely theory what we have learned. And today we are going to start learning about Selenium. Selenium comprises of, Selenium has been invented in the year 2004 by a scientist called, don't take down this, listen, I will give you time to take down, by a scientist called Jason Huggins. And the company which supported to develop this is ThoughtWorks. ThoughtWorks is the company which has developed this Selenium tool in the year 2004 itself. Okay, do you know where this ThoughtWorks is located? It's in Bangalore, Koramangala. Yeah, why I am telling you in the sense, there will be a regular conferences which happens every month. If you go and attend those conferences, right, we will after getting the job, it is better if you can go and attend the conference. We will come to know what updates they are going to make in future. Every month, head office is in UK, but nodal office is here, and most of the development happens here only. And we will be getting most of the updates if you attend the conferences. I will be attending every month. I will be attending, so that I will come to know what updates they are going to make in future, and what kind of releases they are going to do, how it is going to affect the existing Selenium, and how we can, what are the solutions to if it affects for our everything. They will be giving a ready structure for us, so that it will be easy for us to attend, easy for us to move further. That is why I am telling where this is located. It is invented in the year 2004 itself, and the first scientist who have invented this Selenium is Jason Huggins. Okay, Selenium comprises of three components. One is Selenium IDE, that is Selenium IDE called as integrated development environment. Second one is Selenium RC, that is nothing but remote control. Third one, WebDriver, that is not, see, in the year 2004 initially they have implemented Selenium IDE. They found some drawbacks with Selenium IDE, and in the year 2007 they have implemented Selenium RC. Again they found some drawbacks with Selenium RC. Again in the year 2008 they have implemented Selenium WebDriver, where everyone are using Selenium WebDriver even now also. Completely we are going to learn about Selenium WebDriver only. First, today what we will do is we will learn Selenium IDE today. We will install Selenium IDE and we will learn about Selenium IDE and see what are the drawbacks are there with Selenium IDE. Directly I am going to jump to Selenium WebDriver. We are not going to learn anything about Selenium RC, because whatever the things which are there in RC are there in WebDriver also. That's why we don't want to learn anything about RC. Directly we can jump to Selenium WebDriver, where Selenium IDE is completely different. It doesn't relate with any other tool, whereas all the things which are there in RC have been covered in WebDriver also. Now what we are going to do now as a next procedure is we are going to learn completely about Selenium IDE. What is this Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE, it is Selenium IDE. When you come to the point of Selenium IDE, it is just a record and playback tool. What is this record and playback tool? I will tell you. As I said, in yesterday's class I said Selenium supports all the browsers, right? But the Selenium IDE doesn't support all the browsers. It supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. It doesn't support any other browser. Okay, this supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. It is less secured. What is these 4 points we can discuss after at the end of the class about this. It is less secured. About these 4 points we can discuss at the end of the class. Okay, right now what we can do here is, what we are going to do now is we are going to do the installation of Selenium IDE. Then what we are going to do here is installation of Selenium IDE. Install Selenium IDE, then start working with Selenium IDE. At the end of the class we can discuss about these 4 points again, so that we will understand clearly. Then first learning it theoretically. First let us implement practically completely. Learn this, then we can see about these 4 points. Just take down these things in your notes. Next we can see the installation of Selenium IDE and start working with Selenium IDE. Next we can see about the installation of Selenium IDE. Don't take down any notes for installation of Selenium IDE. I will give you the notes. First let us see how to install the Selenium IDE. Normally how will you install any tool? For example, if you want to install a VLC media player, how will you install it? Download a .exe file, then click on next and install it. Why you click on next? Even I don't know why we click on. Just double click on that, click on next and install it. That is what we do, right? I mean, first time when you click next, it will extract the jars. Next time when you click, it will select the path where you are going to install. Next time when you click, it will ask for I accept. Likewise, it keeps on for each and every next there might be a reason, but we don't want to know what's the reason behind that. What we are going to do here is we are going to just install the Selenium IDE now. But Selenium IDE installation is quite different. It is not a routine procedure like how we install other tools. This is not a separate exe file at all. First of all, it is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. It is an add-on. It is not a exe files. Since it is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser, first we have to install Mozilla Firefox browser. On top of that, we have to install this Selenium IDE. First install Mozilla Firefox browser. On top of this, you have to install this Selenium IDE, because this is not a separate .exe file, right? Since it is an add-on, it supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. First install Mozilla Firefox browser. You know how to install this Firefox browser, right? Yes or no, everyone? Install Mozilla Firefox browser. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. Go to the URL called selenium.dev. Selenium.dev. Under selenium.dev, there is Selenium IDE here, right? Oh, everything they have changed it now. Earlier it is like named as seleniumhq.org. Recently, seleniumhq.org. Now they have renamed that to selenium.dev. But the internal structure also has been changed. Click on this download. Once you click on this download, Selenium client, Selenium IDE. Yes, you have Selenium IDE for Firefox. Click on this for Firefox and click on OK. Go to selenium.dev. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. First open Mozilla Firefox browser. Go to selenium.dev. Don't open Chrome browser and do all these things. Open Mozilla Firefox browser, because it supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. Then click on download. Once you click on download, under downloads you will get a option called Selenium IDE. You will get an option called Selenium IDE. Under Selenium IDE, click on this Firefox. There is something called for Chrome. It supports for Chrome also. Recently only they have implemented that. Recently, just before some 6 months, they have implemented that. Earlier it used to not to support for Chrome. Even for Chrome it doesn't support fully like how it supports for Firefox. That's why we tell that by default it supports only Firefox browser. It doesn't support any other browser. The Selenium IDE. Whereas when we come to the point of Selenium RC and WebDriver, it supports all the browsers. Selenium. In that case, when we talk about overall about Selenium supports multiple browsers, where Selenium RC and WebDriver supports, where Selenium IDE doesn't support all the browsers. It supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. So that's why we are going to click on Firefox. Click on this Firefox. Then click on Add to Firefox button. There is an Add to Firefox button, right? You have to click on that. But this button got disabled. Why? What is the reason? No. It is clearly given. This add-on requires new version of Firefox, at least version 56.0. You are using 46.0. Go to help about Firefox. Which version I am using? 46.0. That's why it is telling you cannot install this Selenium IDE in 46.0. What you have to do? At least go with more than 56. Any version more than 56, so that you can install this Selenium IDE. That is what it is mentioning here. Right? Can you tell me, can you repeat the steps once again how to install this Selenium IDE? Open Mozilla Firefox browser, then go to selenium.dev, then click on download, then under this go to Selenium IDE. Don't take down, listen, I'll give you time, I'll give you notes. Then under Selenium IDE, click on Firefox, then click on add to Firefox, but this button got disabled. That's why I have to uninstall this version. I have to uninstall this Firefox version, install latest version. Latest version is 70.0 what you have, but that is a beta version. 70.0 versions are beta versions. Don't go with the beta versions ever. Go with the standard versions always. 67.0 is the latest version in Firefox what we have. 67.0. I am going to download that 67.0. You can go to Google and search for Mozilla Firefox browser latest version. You can download any latest version and you can install it. Already I have downloaded and installed and I have kept ready with me. Under D, under softwares, under here, I have 46.0 as well as 67.0. 67 is the latest version what we have. Okay, latest version. Download this latest version. This is the latest version of Firefox what we have. I am going to install. It has clearly mentioned there that we can use more than 56.0 any version. 67 is more than 56. Right? Just double click on this. Click on yes. Click on next. Next. Oh, sorry. Let me uninstall, or else what it will happen is, first I have to let me go to control panel. Let me uninstall the old version, or else it will install both the versions there. That's the problem with this Mozilla. Let me uninstall. Uninstall. Done. Sit there. Uninstall. Let me uninstall this. Finish. Then I have to install the latest version. This is the latest version what I have. Just double click on this, next, 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 and install it, so that you will get the latest version of Firefox browser. Then on top of that you can install this Selenium ID. Click on next, next, install. This is the latest version of Firefox browser. Now on this I can install the Selenium ID. How to install Selenium ID? Go to selenium.dev, then click on download, then under Selenium ID click on Firefox, then click on, now the button is enabled, right? I am not getting the red tag. Click on add to Firefox, then click on add, then okay, got it. Okay, got it. So that you have installed Selenium ID. This is the Selenium ID. Once you click on the Selenium ID, you can open this tool. This is the Selenium ID tool. Have you understood how to install? How to work with this tool we can see now, right? This is all about how to install Selenium ID. If you want to install Selenium, if you want to open Selenium ID, first you need to open the Firefox browser. Then only you can open the Selenium ID. Okay, now let us see the notes for this. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. Then what is the next step? Go to selenium.dev, then click on downloads, then under Selenium IDE, click on Firefox, then click on add to Firefox, then click on add. Okay, add. That's it. The next step is note. Use at least 56.0 version of Firefox browser. Got it? Take down this. Done. Next, see, now we have installed Selenium ID. We have a tool to automate, but we need an application to automate, right? We need some manual test cases to automate now, which means that we need some application and we need some manual test cases to automate. Now we are going to see about that, which test case we can automate. What I am going to do is, let me open this, open for facebook.com and start automating the login scenario of this facebook.com. Okay, can someone give your username and password? No one will give, I know that, right? That's why I'm not going to use this Facebook application. Instead of that, let me use different application. I'm going to use an application called demo.actitime.com. That is not www.actitime.com, that is demo.actitime.com. Take down this URL. Take down this URL, demo.actitime.com. Don't give anything like HTTP, HTTPS or anything. Just give demo.actitime, actitime, actitime.com. Okay, open this URL. Once you open this demo.actitime.com, any doubts what you have? Okay, once you open this URL, it will ask you username and password. Unless you give username and password, it will not log in into the application, but the username and password is given here itself. What is the username? Admin. Password is manager. Give that admin and manager and log in into the application, so that it will log in into the application. After logging in, I can click on log out. Just we need some application to log in and log out, whatever the application it might be. That's why I'm taking this demo.actitime.com application. See, what is this application is all about in the sense, I will just give you an overview of this application. For example, imagine that you're working for a company called TCS. For example, in ITPL TCS, there are thousands of employees who are working in a single location, but they will be working for different projects. Some 10 set of employees will be working for a particular project. Some 20 employees will be working for a particular project. Like that, some 15 employees will be working for a different project. Everyone will enter in a common gate and exit in a common gate by using their scanning IDs or thumb impressions or something. Right? Now, in this case, Each and every employee will have a different login times and logout times, different number of working hours also based upon the client what they are working, right? HR has to track which employee is associated to which customer, whether they are following the time. They need some application to track the time, right? That's why they use this time tracking application, ActiveTime application. Okay, we will see in detail functionality about this. As of now, what we are going to do, we should know how to log in into the application. We need a small scenario to to automate the login scenario, right? That's why I'm taking this application. I can log in and I can log out of this application. Now I have installed Selenium. I have installed Selenium IDE and I have an application to automate also. This is the application what I am going to automate. Right, just one test case I am taking in this application, that is login test case. Now I am going to start doing automation for this demo.activetime.com. Already I have installed Selenium IDE, right? You know how to install Selenium IDE. I install at least 56.0 version of Firefox browser and start install. Can you listen the class? What you are doing? Don't use mobiles in the class. Install Selenium IDE, then go to demo.activetime.com. Okay, now what I am going to do here is I have installed Selenium IDE. This is the Selenium IDE tool. Open the Selenium IDE tool. This is the Selenium IDE tool. Then record a new test case in a new project. I am going to start recording a test case. This Selenium IDE, as I said, it is just a record and playback tool. Click on the Selenium IDE. Click on the Selenium IDE. Record a new test case in a new project. There is an option called record a new test case in a new project. Give the project name, any name you can give, ActiveTime or something. Click on OK. Give the URL on which URL you are going to work. Give the URL on which URL you are going to work. I am going to work on demo.activetime.com. That is the application what I am going to automate, right? That's why I am giving that that URL. Start recording. This is the browser and this is the Selenium IDE tool. Are you getting this? This is the browser and that's the Selenium IDE tool. Now, whatever I do in the browser, that will get recorded here. See here, I am going to type admin. That is getting recorded here, right? If I type manager, that is getting recorded there. If I click on login, that is getting recorded. Each and every step, whatever I do here in the browser, that is getting recorded in the Selenium IDE. Okay, this is the record button. By default, record button is in on. Now, if I stop recording, if I do something here, will it get recorded there? If I log out, will it get recorded the logout step? No, it won't, because I have stopped recording already. Okay, this is the automation test. Now I am going to close this. This is one test case. Entering username, password, click on login. First it has opened that URL, then it has entered admin in the username text box, manager in the password box, then it has clicked on login button. Now I am going to run this and keep quiet. It will open demo.activetime.com, enter admin manager, click on login. Login test case I have automated now, right? Just a record and playback tool. Selenium IDE is just a record and playback tool. Can you tell me how to record a test case? Record the login test case again. Can we do that from the beginning? Once again. Can you tell me now? Go to Selenium IDE. Open the tool first. Then record a new test case in a new project. Give some project name. Any name you can give. Click on OK. Then provide the URL. Which URL? The application what you are going to work. Provide that URL, demo.activetime.com. Complete URL. Start recording. This is the browser and this is the Selenium IDE tool. Now whatever you do here, that will get recorded. Enter admin. Recorded, right? Enter manager. Then click on login. Done. You can stop recording. How to stop recording? Click on stop recording. While you are stopping recording, it will ask a test name. Just give some test name as I am going to give this as login. Click on OK. Now this is one test case. That is a login test case. Right. Now I can run this test case. Log out and kill the browser. Then let me run this. If I run this, it will open demo.activetime.com. It will enter admin manager, click on login. It has been logged in successfully. Are you understanding how to automate? Yes. Now, if I run this once again, it will throw you an error. It will open demo.activetime.com. Then it will try to enter username in the admin in the username text box, but I am not getting that field here. Why? I didn't log out. I didn't kill the session properly. Okay, make sure all the prerequisites are done clearly. Before doing this, log out. If you log out, then it will try to identify that username text box. Now it is logging in successfully. Right? Or else, if you just run it again, right, it will try to open demo.activetime.com. It will try to enter the username in the username text box. It cannot find. It will wait for 30 seconds. Even though if it doesn't find that username in 30 seconds, right, then it will throw you an error. Wait for 30 seconds. Then it will throw the error here. And it will show the red mark in the Selenium IDE. Yes. Now it has failed. Trying to find ID equal to username failed. Implicitly wait 30 seconds. It has waited for 30 seconds. But it didn't find. That's why it has thrown an error here. That's why kill the session properly. Then try to run so that it will run successfully. Run this. It will open demo.activetime.com. Enters admin manager. Click on login. Now I have automated one login scenario. Now what you can do here is, you can open Selenium ID and you open your application once, do all the things whatever you are doing it manually. You can save the test case. Then next day when you are coming, you can open the test case and you can run the test case. How to save and run also I will tell you now. You can save and run so that whatever the manual effort you are doing, that will get saved, right? Manual effort will be saved. You don't want to do it again and again. That is what just to show what is meant by automation I am teaching you here. Going further in Selenium WebDriver, we will not be having a code like this. We will be writing some piece of Java code here, where if you run the Java code, the same thing will happen. How to write that? That is what we are going to learn in Selenium WebDriver. Are you understanding this clearly? Now, let me record the test case once again, save the test case and rerun the test case again. Which one? Kill the session, which means that already if I log in and if I try to run once again, right, it will open this URL. As soon as it opens the URL, right, it is trying to identify the username. But if you have already logged in, username text box will not be there. That's why it will try to identify. If that element is not there, then it will throw an error. Which means that kill the session, log out properly and run it, rerun it when you are rerunning. Yes, you have to log out. You should not leave as it is if you want to run the test case again. Okay. Now, how to record a test case? Can you tell me once again? So that this time I will save the test case. Open Selenium ID. Then record a new test case in a new project. Project name. Done. URL. Done. Start recording. This is the URL. This is the Selenium ID. Okay. Now I am going to enter admin. Then password call manager. Then click on login. I have saved one test case here. I have written one test case here. I have recorded the test case, sorry. Now I am going to stop this, login. Save this. Save this. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save this test case. This is one test case here, right? Go to save project, under D, under classes, under D, under classes, under batch 142. Your batch number is 142, not 143. Here I am going to save this. I am going to save this. Just save this. I have saved this. Now under D, under classes, under batch 142, I have a Selenium ID, active time Selenium ID. This is the test case, what I have saved it. Now what I can do here is, this is what we have saved, right? This is a test case what I have saved, and I have saved this as active time. I have saved this as active time. Test case as active time. Now I can close this test case. I can close this test case. I have recorded a test case and I have saved a test case by using this button. Now I am going to close this. Close this today. Come back tomorrow again. Start opening that test case, whatever you have saved yesterday, and run that. Try to run that. It has to run successfully. How to open the test case and run? First click on Selenium ID. Then what is the next step? Open an existing project. Then select the file, classes, batch 142, open this active time Selenium ID. Then it has opened. Now what I can do, I can run this and sit idle so that it will open the browser, open Selenium IDE, enter admin manager, click on login. That is how you can save your time. Save your time, manpower, everything will be saved if you do automation. Have you understood how to record a test case and how to run the test case? Can you go home and do this? Yes, right? Now, finally, I'll tell you once again the drawbacks. Let me see what you do is go home and start installing the Selenium ID and open Selenium ID and start automating your banking application. Like ICICIbank.com, AxisBank.com, or else what you can do, record a new test case in a new project. Instead of this, open ICICIbank.com, open the ICICIbank.com URL. Imagine that I have given ICICIbank.com URL and start recording. This is the test case. Okay, tell your friend to enter the username and password. Tell your friend to enter the username and password of ICICIbank.com. So that he will enter the username and password of that ICICIbank.com. Click on login. Okay, after logging in, what you can do is you can tell him to log out. That logout has been successfully done. He is safe and secure. Right? He feels that he is safe and secure. Then once he goes out, just minimize this and go back and see what is his username and password. What is his username? What is his username? Admin. What is his password? Manager. You can do that easily. See, earlier days they used to have a tag called the Selenium. The Selenium ID is, recently only they have implemented this tag, Selenium ID is recording at the bottom. Earlier that is also not there. In that case, you can, in browsing centers or somewhere, you can open the browser, install Selenium ID at the background, and you can minimize that, and you can tell them to do something. Everything will get recorded. His Gmail username, password, everything, Facebook username and password. Once he goes out, I can take that and I can log in into that. Is it secured? Is Selenium ID secured? No. That is why people have stopped using. There are a lot of drawbacks to using the Selenium IDE. Right? Selenium IDE is just a record and playback tool. It doesn't do anything. For example, if I want to log in and log out for 100 times, at least manually I have to log in and log out once so that I can record the test case and I can rerun it. I cannot use any for loops or do anything, any program here by using Selenium IDE. Whereas by using Selenium WebDriver, I can use a small for loop and write 4 lines of code where it will iterate for 100 times with different usernames and passwords. We can do that also there. Those descriptive programming is not possible here. It will not encrypt the passwords. That's the problem. Lot of drawbacks are there with the Selenium ID. Are you understanding these drawbacks? It is less secured. Descriptive programming is not possible. It supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. Because since it is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser, after few days, if Selenium guys are not accepting their add-ons due to security reasons, then this tool itself will get outdated very soon. There is a scope of getting outdated very soon. Whereas Selenium WebDriver is not like that. Everything, these drawbacks, whatever we have saw in this Selenium IDE will be overtaken. Now I hope when we come to these 4 points, you will understand this clearly. It is just a record and playback tool. It supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. It is less secure. Are you understanding this, guys? This is all about Selenium IDE. Do you have any doubts with the Selenium IDE now? No, right? Go home, start. Yeah.
Is there any way that CAPTCHA,
CAPTCHA cannot be automated by using 90% of the automation tools. Only 10% of the automation tools supports CAPTCHA. Selenium cannot take CAPTCHA. IDE, WebDriver, no Selenium tool will automate CAPTCHA. Do you know the reason why they give CAPTCHA? Below that they would have clearly written, prove that you are not a robot. Which means that to stop automation they will be implementing that CAPTCHA. Again we cannot automate that, right? The reason behind why they have given CAPTCHA is to stop automation. Again we cannot do the automation for CAPTCHA. Securely there are some other tools where we can integrate that with Selenium and we can make it to work. That we can do it. Any other doubts what you have, guys? Okay, that is all about our today's class, whatever we have saw. In tomorrow's session we will discuss about this basics of HTML. See, basics of HTML. See, to do any automation activity we will be doing 2 steps. One is identifying the element, next one is what are the 2 steps what we will do to do automation. That we will learn anyhow tomorrow. To do any automation we will identify the element and we will perform action on elements. To identify the elements we should know the basics of HTML. We will see about that in detail tomorrow. Tomorrow's class is very important actually. You cannot miss tomorrow's class. At any cost don't miss tomorrow's class. It is quite important as well. Right? Let us see in tomorrow's class. We are going to build a website tomorrow with different elements, one text box, one radio button, one. It will not take more than 1 hour to build a website. Okay, one web page, not complete website. We will build a web page, right? So that we can understand the basics of HTML. Later on, we can start identifying the elements. Where identifying the elements becomes very easy for us. From tomorrow onwards, we will have 1.5 hours of sessions. I am going to design the web page, and the web page will look like this. And the web page is going to look like this, with different elements. Anjali, please mute your microphone. Title of the page should be Welcome to Selenium. Welcome to Selenium should be the title of the page. Okay, next I should have a username text box. Handwriting might be poor because of digital handwriting. Username text box. Hello. Oh, okay. Now are you able to see Paramshu? Password box, then login button, and I have some reports box, reports checkbox, and I will have different radio button, male radio button, female radio button, female radio button. Please mute your microphones, Anjali, Paramshiv, everyone. Don't unmute. If you have any doubts, you can unmute and talk. A link called Google link, a hyperlink. If I click on this, it has to navigate to Google page, like that. Next, I will have an image. An image. Next, image with link. This is a normal image. If I mouse over on this, it will be as a normal cursor only. It will be as a normal cursor only. But if I mouse over on this, it will change to hand symbol. It will be an image. If I mouse over on this, it will change to a hand symbol. And if I click on this, it will navigate to some other page. It will navigate to some Flipkart page or some other page. Okay, this is image with link. Image with link. Then I'll have a single select drop down. I'll have a list of cities. I can select one city at a time. I have my list of cities. I have multiple cities. I can select multiple cities at a time. This is single select drop down, and this is multi select drop down. I'll have a text area where I can write the description. I'll have a file choosing button, that is browse button. If I click on this, a window will appear to select a file. Browse buttons normally what we see in application. These are the different elements what you will find in your web page. Apart from this, do you find any other elements in the web page? Think of that. No. That is nothing but this upload button is nothing but browse button. Okay. These are the download is nothing but it's a link. To that link they will give the functionality to download. These are the basic elements in a web page. If you know how these basic elements are built in a web page, you might see some elements like this. This is the combination of radio button and checkbox what they make. Many other things, whatever they make, it will be a combination of some elements, some basic elements. These are the basic elements. If you know these elements, that's more than sufficient for us, because we are not developers. We are not going to develop the web page. We are going to test the web page. That's why just what is this, and know the terminologies of each and every element. What is this element called? Text box. What is this box? Password box. There is a lot of difference between text box and password box. What is this? Button. Good. What is this? Checkbox. What is this? Radio button. Next one is image. Next one is image with link. This is, just a minute guys, I'll come. Akshara has went. This is single select drop down. Select drop down, and next one is multi select drop down, and this is text area. Normally we create text area to write descriptions. Okay, this is file choosing button. choosing button. This is file choosing button. Okay, this is a web page what I am going to build now. Before that, take down the requirement page. Next we are going to build the web page. How to build we will see slowly. Take down this. Take down the elements names also. Okay, now let's start building this web page. Normally any web page is built with HTML. Any web page is built with HTML. We can write the HTML code anywhere in the Notepad, Edit Plus, Notepad Plus Plus, normal Notepad. Anywhere we can write the code. But while you are saving the file, you want to save with .html extension. You want to save with .html extension. I am going to write this in the Notepad itself. Let me write this in the Notepad itself. I am going to just my intention is to design this web page now. I am just going to design this web page. Whatever I have written here in the blackboard, I am going to design this same web page as it is. Let me open the Notepad and start designing the web page. This any HTML page will start with HTML tag. Any HTML, don't take down the code, I will give you time to take down, and it will end with HTML tag. HTML page will start with HTML tag and end with HTML tag. HTML tag has two child tags called head tag and head tag closes separately like this, and body tag, and body tag closes separately like this. Body tag, head tag and body tag. Are you getting this? This is the basic structure of HTML page. Okay, after creating this web page, Control S, save, Control S, or go to save. I'm going to F. Your classes, all your files will be under this particular folder only. Batch 114. Yeah. It started recording. No need to worry about that. Already done. Oh, batch 113. Batch 114. Okay. Here, name it as sample.html. I have saved this file. Once you have created the file, go here, go to under classes, under batch 114. Now I have created this file sample.html. If you create with .html, of course it will create a file like this. Once either you can double click or right click, open with Chrome browser, whichever the browser you want, you can open with that. It will open with the browser. Output will be here. I have not written anything. I have just created the structure of HTML page. That's why it is showing me the blank page here. And this is the structure of HTML page. Okay. This is the basic structure of HTML. Take down this basic structure of HTML. Just take down the basic structure of HTML. This is the basic structure of HTML. It starts with HTML tag and ends with HTML tag. It has two child tags, head tag and body tag. Head tag has four different child tags called title tag, meta tag, CSS tag and JS tag. These are not for us. These are not necessary for us at all. Okay, this meta tag is used to add keywords. This CSS is used for cascading style sheets to style the to change the font sizes or something. This JS is for JavaScript, which means that if I have a text box, if the text box has to take a minimum of 4 characters, maximum of 32 characters, if you want to do some validations, those things will be done in JS. These things are not necessary for us, first of all. Forget about this. Now, title is necessary. Title tag. Title will be all the other elements, whatever you are going to build, input text, text box, radio buttons, all those things should be inside this body tag only. Title tag. What is the title of your page? Welcome to Selenium should be the title of my page. This title tag closes separately. If the tag is open, it should be closed somewhere. Okay. Now, Control S, save. Now again I have to go and open this. This I have changed a little bit. Double click on this, open. Or else what you can do, already I have opened this, right? Just refresh this, then you will see the output here. If I refresh this, it has changed to welcome to Selenium. Okay, what I am going to do from now onwards, I am going to change the code here, save this and come and refresh here so that it will get the updated code. I don't want to go and open the file each and every time. Are you getting this? Now, let us start building the web pages. Let us start building the web pages now. What is the first element in our web page? Element name. What? Text box. Username text box is the first element. What I am going to build. Okay. Input is the tag name. Input is the tag name to create the text box. Input is the tag name. Input tag closes separately. It won't close separately. It's a self-closing tag. It closes there itself. Input is the tag to create the text box. It has created a text box here. Have you understood? Input is the tag name to create the text box. If you want to create the radio button, input type equal to radio. It will create a radio button. See, it creates a radio button here. If you want to create a checkbox, input type equal to checkbox. If you want to create a text box, normally you should have given type equal to text. But if you give type equal to text, it will create a text box here. But if you are not giving anything called type equal to text, right? If you are not giving anything called type equal to text, it will create a text box itself. Because by default the type value is text. By default the type value is text. That's why if you are not giving anything, then it will take type equal to text, so that it creates a text box. We need a text box here. Either you can give type equal to text, or else just you can give input also, so that it creates a text box. Are you understanding how to create a text box now? Now, created. I need a label for this text box, right? As per my requirements, I need the username as a label for this text box. How to create that user? Just give that label here, username colon. That's it. It will create a text box. Go and refresh here. Refresh. You have got a username text box. You can type something. Any doubts how to create the text box? Now, imagine that my web page has many other elements also, like first name, last name, like this. I have many elements. Now if I refresh, I will get all these elements here, right? I am getting all these elements. Now, can you tell me whether this code, this particular code corresponds to first name or last name? It corresponds to first name. For example, if I have 50 elements like this, in between if I want to identify a particular element's code, whether that belongs to the previous element or next element, is it easy? It's quite a difficult. If you have too much code, if I want to verify whether that particular code corresponds to first name or last name, then it will be quite a difficult for me. So that what we will do normally is, whenever we create some elements, we will give a ID or name for that element. ID equal to uname or something, username. So that we will come to know that this particular code corresponds to username text box. If you have too many elements, to avoid the confusion, either we can give ID or name. Either we can give ID or name, so that we can, it will be easy for the further reference. Are you getting this? This is how I can create an element. Done. Created the username text box. One element is done. Next. What is the next element? Password box. Just a minute. Let me copy paste this code itself, whatever I have. Password input typing. Let me give pwd. Done, right? Let me refresh this. Is this correct? No. Why? Password. If I give the password iccibank.com like this, right? Then no one will use that iccibank.com at all, right? Password box is different from text box. Input type equal to password, so that it will create a password box. Password box is different from text box. Password box takes an text box takes a normal characters, whereas password box takes an encrypted characters. Okay, just a minute, I'll come back. Okay, next element. What is the next element what we are going to build? What is the element name? Button. I am going to build this button now. I am going to build this button. What is the tag to create button? Input type equal to button. If I give input type equal to button, it will create a button here. Let me see the output. Refresh this so that I have got the button. Okay, either you can give input type equal to button, or else you can give input type equal to submit also. So if you give input type equal to submit, you will get a button name itself as submit. So that I don't want to, the button name as submit. What I need? The button name. Button name as login. So that I am creating an empty button here. If I give a name here, it will come before the button. If I give something here, it will come after the button. But I want on the button as a login. I want the on the button as login. So that what I can give ID, value equal to login. Value equal to login. I've got the button name as value equal to login. Got it? Now, here for this button also, it is always preferred to give some unique IDs. Unique IDs for each and every element. Login button or something like this. This is preferred always to give some either IDs or name for each and every element. Right? Next. What is the next element? Checkbox. How to create the checkbox? You know already. Tell me. Input type equal to checkbox. Checkbox. Input type equal to checkbox. It is preferred to give ID or or name. You can give either ID or name, anything can be given. Now I have created a checkbox, but I need something called reports here, right? Where I can give after this reports. That is what I have created. Done. Reports. Now what is the next element in your requirement page? What is the next element? Radio button. I need to create the radio button. Let me create that radio button. What is the tag to create radio button? Input type is equal to radio, only radio. Input type equal to radio. Refresh this. You have got a radio button. But do you want the radio button there? No, it should be in the next line. What I can do in that case? Give BR tags, breaking reference. It will give a breaking reference and bring it here. But normally in real time they won't use BR tags. What they do is they create tables and place the elements inside the table, so that when they create a table, automatically it will fall in a new line. Let me explain you more clearly about this. They'll create a table. They'll create a table like this. They'll create a table with one row and two columns. They'll create a table like this. They'll put the male radio button here and female radio button here. When they create a new table, automatically it will fall in a new line. This table is created with one row and two columns in that one row, and they will divide all the elements into different tables. They'll put all the links in one table, all the images in one table, all the images in one all the images in one table, all the select drop downs in one table, all the select drop downs in one table, all the other elements in one table. Like this, they will divide the page into different tables normally. As soon as they get the requirement, based upon their convenience, they will divide the page into different tables, and they will put the elements inside the tables. Okay, this male and female radio button is in one table with one row and two columns. This Google link is in one table with how many rows? One row and one column inside that row. This image and image with link is in one table with how many rows? Two rows and one column in each row. Right? Then this single select drop down and multi select drop down is in one table with how many rows? One row. First row should be there, then inside the row column should be there. Okay, inside one row with two columns. One row with two columns. This text area and browse button is in one row with two columns. Okay, that is how this web page will be divided. If you want to create a table, let me create a table. Let me create this empty table. Let me create an empty table like this. Okay, table will be created with table tag. Table will be created with table tag. Table tag ends like this. This table has how many rows? One row. This table has one row. TR. This TR will close separately. Has how many columns? Two columns. Columns is nothing but TD. Table data. TD. Here I will have male radio button. I can create male radio button. Next one more TD. In this I should have female radio button. Like this I can create, so that it will create inside the table. This is the structure of the table. Just take down only this table structure. Don't take down any other thing. This is the basic structure of table. Okay, now let me create the table. Let me create an empty table first. You can take down from here also as well. Table should be closed separately like this. Table. This table should have how many rows? One row. table row closes here. This table should have two columns, td, 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 td. TD. Here I should have mail radio button. Here I should have mail radio button. Here I should have female radio button. That is how I have to build the web page now, right? How to create the radio button? Input type equal to radio. Input type equal to radio. Radio button. See, this is inside the table, but I am unable to see the table, right? Why? Because I didn't give border for the table. If you give border equal to 1, you can see the border of the table. Now you are able to see table with one row and two column. In the first row, first column you have one radio button. First row, second column, it is empty. Okay, this is how normally by default the border value will be 0. The border value will be 0. That's why it will not be able to, you will not be able, at the background it will be there, but you will be unable to see that. If you give border, you will be able to see that, right? Next, input type equal to radio. You need a label for that, right? Mail. Then give that radio button. Mail. I have got it. In the same way, create a female radio button also. Female radio. Input type equal to radio. Female. It is better to give IDs always, I said, right? ID equal to male or something. Here in the same way, ID equal to female. Give unique IDs always. Now refresh this. You are getting male and female radio button in a table. What developers do is, when they are creating, they will keep the border for the table. As soon as they complete the entire design, right, they will search for this border equal to 1 and remove all the borders. So that when you are able to see the background of that, there will be a table. If you want to see that, I can show you some examples also. Let me go to this web page called demo.activetime.com. It is a small web page. When you see the source code of this web page, you can see how it is designed inside the tables. Yes, it's loading. Right click on this element, inspect, so that you will get the source code of this element. See, this is an input tag tdtr tbody. Slowly, if you go up, it is in the table. This element is in the table. If you go up little bit, that table is inside another table. This table is inside another table. Like that, they have divided the entire page in big table. Inside that there is a table, inside that there is a table. That is how normally in real time the web pages are built. That is why I have created tables and put the elements inside the table, so that you will understand more better. They won't use any BR tags and all. Have you understood up to here? Any doubts with this? Okay, next. What is the next element what we are going to build? Google link. That should be with one table with one row and one column. First design an empty table. Later on I can put the element inside the table. Okay. Let me design an empty table. How to create a table? Table should be created. Is the table, is it correct whatever I have created? Table with one row and one column inside that. So that I am going to create a link here. I am going to create a Google link. To create a link, I will be using a tag called A tag. A tag is used to create the link. Anchor. The full form, what does the anchor in the ship does? It links to some other thing. which means that it links to water and it stops the ship. Right? In the same way, here you are creating a link and you are connecting to some other web page. Okay, anchor href is equal to, where if you click on that link, where you have to navigate, you have to navigate to http://www.google.com. you want to navigate to that, and a tag closes separately like this. A tag is not a self-closing tag. This input tag is a self-closing tag. A tag is not a self-closing tag. Whatever the text you give here, that it will be displayed here. Okay. Now if you click on this, it will navigate to Google page. It will navigate to Google page. Done. But you don't want the text as some random text here. You want the text also as Google. Give the text here in the web page. Instead of this text, I am going to give it as Google. Done. Now refresh this, you will get a link called Google. If you click on this, it will navigate to Google page. Understood? Next. What is the next element? Image, and image with link should be in one table with how many rows? 2 rows and 1 column in each row. Alright, let me design that. Okay, let me design that. This is the table what I am going to create. Table with how many rows? 2 rows and 1 column in each row. Is it correct whatever I have created here? Table with 2 rows. In first row I have 1 column, in second row I have another column. Here I am going to create a normal image. Here I am going to create a image with link. Got it? Next. To create an image, I need to have an image, right? Download an image and keep an image ready with you. Okay, I am going to download an image, home.jpg or some image. Go to images. Why this is very slow? Okay, let me download this image. Download this image. Save images. Let me download to the same folder wherever I have my .html batch one, and under here I am going to save this as home.jpg. I have saved the file under this home.jpg. I have this home.jpg, right? Now I need to display this image, home.jpg image, inside here in my web page. img is the tag to display the image. src equal to, what is the file name? home.jpg. home.jpg. have image is a self-closing tag. If you want id, you can give id, or else just leave it also. Okay, now it has displayed the image here. See, I have given img src equal to home.jpg. Since my this .html file and image is in the same folder, both are in the same folder, that's why directly I have given the file name here. If this home.jpg is inside my C drive under images folder, under images, if I have this home.jpg, then what I have to give here? Then I have given the complete path, c:/images/home.jpg. Since both are in the same folder, I am just giving that file name. It is preferred to keep in the same folder always. Okay, next. That is all about image. Are you understanding this image, how to display the image? Next one, what is the next one? Image with link. Okay, now I am just going to create a link again. Again I have created a link, so that it has created a link here. I don't want the text as Google. I don't want the text as Google. Instead of this Google text, I need image there. Instead of this Google text, I don't want this text as Google. I need an image. In HTML language, this is the image, right? Copy this and paste it instead of this, so that an image will be displayed. And if I click on that image, now an image will be displayed. Now this is a normal image. This is actually a link only, but link with not a text, with an image. But if I click on this, it will go to Google page. It is going to Google page. If you don't want to go to Google page, if you want to go to Flipkart page, then change this to Flipkart. Change this to Flipkart. It will go to Flipkart page. Refresh this. If I click on this, it is navigating to Flipkart page. Okay. If you don't want to have the home.jpg, if you want mobile.jpg, download mobile.jpg and give mobile.jpg as a name here, so that it will display the mobile image there, and if you click on that, it will navigate to Flipkart page. Are you clear until here? How to different element has different tag names and attribute names. You don't want to remember anything here. Now what you want to come to know here is, you want to come to know what is the parent tag. This A tag is the child tag of this TD tag. This TD tag is the child tag of this TR tag. This TR tag is the child tag of this table tag. This table tag is the child tag of this body tag. Body tag. This body tag is the child tag of this HTML tag. HTML tag is the parent. This parent-child relationship, you need to understand this. That's the only thing what you have to understand. You don't want to by heart any code here, because already developers have written the code and given to you. Okay. This is only 4 more elements are left. What are those? Single select dropdown, multi select dropdown, text area, and browse button. Let me create single select dropdown and multi select dropdown now. This should be in one table with 1 row and 2 columns, right? Let me design the empty table. Is the table is correct what I am developing? Table with 1 row and 2 columns. Yes or no? Yes. Here I need single select dropdown. I need single select dropdown. Select is the tag to create the select dropdown. Select tag is not a self-closing tag. Select. That's it. It will create a select dropdown. Sorry. Oh. It will create a select dropdown. It has created a select dropdown here. Are you able to see that? Select dropdown. Now, what I need, give some ID. Normally, I will be giving ID for any element, right? CT. That's it. You have created a select dropdown. But for that select dropdown, you need some options, right? Like Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Kolkata, like that. Give that in the option tag. Option value equal to 1. I am going to give Bangalore as first option. Option Bangalore. I have got an option called Bangalore, right? Like that, if you want different options, what you can do, copy this 1, 2, Chennai, 3 is Mumbai, 4 is Pune. Now if you refresh this, you have got all the 4 options. This is how to create a single select dropdown. Next, I am going to create a multi select dropdown. What I am going to do, let me copy paste this. Let me change this ID value to cities. Now I have created single select dropdown only. I didn't create multi select dropdown. Now I need to convert this to a multi select dropdown. If you want to make that to a multi select dropdown, then you need to pass one more attribute called multiple equal to true. It will create a, it will make that to a multi select dropdown. It will make that to a multi select dropdown. Have you got it? I've created, by pressing Ctrl, you can select multiple cities here. That is all about multi select dropdown. 2 more elements are left. What are those? Text area and file choosing button. Both should be in one table with 1 row and 2 columns. 1 row and 2 columns. Here you have, is the table is correct whatever I have created? Table with 1 row and 2 columns. Here I need a text area. Text area to ID equal to description or something. area. Got it? Now refresh this, you will get a text area. You have got a text area, right? That's it. This is all about how to create text area. What is the next element? File choosing button. Input type equal to file is a file choosing button. If you want id equal to browse or something, you can give file choosing button. Now refresh this, you have got a file choosing button. Okay, this is how to create a file choosing. Hardly we have taken 45 minutes to develop this web page. That's it, right? One web page hardly but to make colors and all those things, it might take more time. Just to design the basics of HTML, we hardly took only 45 minutes to 1 hour max. Okay, so that if you know the basics of HTML, identifying the elements become very easy. To do any automation, we are going to identify the elements and perform action on that element. To identify the elements, we should know the basics of HTML. That is why it is not our job at all. Developers is going to develop the web page and give to us from next class, which means that from Monday's class onwards, we are going to identify the elements by using different element locators. We are going to identify the elements. Okay, but to step into that, we have to learn the basics of HTML. But normally in real time, those who are working also in Selenium, they will not be aware with this 1 hour of stuff. That's why they will be feeling lot of difficulty to identify the elements. Okay. Just a minute, I will come back. Now what I am going to do here is, there is a huge code here, right? It is too difficult to remember the entire code, right? I am going to give you a simple shortcuts how to remember everything. Okay, so that you can remember everything. For any big topic, whatever you are going to learn in future, I will give you some shortcuts. If you learn those shortcuts, it will be very easy for you. Let me tell. I will give you ample time to take down. You will get sufficient time to take down the notes, don't worry. Element. Next, tag name. Mandatory attribute. Value. Additional attribute value. What is the first element? Text box. What is the tag name to create the text box? Input is the tag name. What is the mandatory attribute? Type equal to text. You have to give type equal to text. That is the attribute. And additional attribute, either you can give ID or name. That is user defined value. You can give anything. User defined value. What is the next element? Password box. What is the tag name? Input is the, what is the mandatory attribute? Type equal to password. Here you can give either ID or name, that is user defined. Are you understanding why I am giving shortcuts like this for each and every? Now you don't want to write the entire code also. If you have this, that's more than sufficient. You can start building, because you know the base, you have already taken the basics of HTML, basic structure of HTML. Inside body, if you write all these tags, then of course you can build your web page. Okay, what is the next element? Button. What is the tag to create button? Input. Type equal to button or submit also I can give. Anything I can give to create a button. Here I will be giving value that is button name as an additional attribute. Next one, checkbox. Input is the tag to create the checkbox. Type equal to checkbox. Here you will be giving either ID or name, that is user defined. Got it? Next, radio button. Radio button. What is the tag to create the radio button? Input type equal to radio ID. One more thing I forgot to tell you here. I'm coming to recap this. I forgot to tell you this. Now after this, can this happen? Can I select both male and female radio button? I have to select only one, right? If I do like this, no one will use this application. It's a bug actually. So that what I can give here is give a common name. Name equal to gender. Give a common name. Name equal to gender. So that I refresh this. Now you can go and select only one out of that. You cannot select both. If you have 5 cities, out of 5 cities, if you want to select only one radio button, then give a common name to that 5 cities, so that out of those 5 cities only one will get selected. That is how, that is called grouping the elements. Out of that group only one will get selected. Okay. Now here in that case I have to give both ID and name. One for uniqueness and one for grouping. Name should be used for grouping. Only name can be used for grouping. IDs cannot be used for grouping. Okay. User defined. Next element. What is that? Link. That is link. What is the tag name to create the link? A. href. What is the mandatory attribute? href. You will be passing URL. Then if you want ID or name, you can give, or else just leave it also. ID or is additional attribute. Next one, image. What is the tag to create image? img is the tag to create image. What is the mandatory attribute? src equal to file name. Here you will be giving either ID or name, that is user defined. Next one is image with link. That is nothing but combination of these two is image with link. Next one, single select drop down. What is the tag to create single select drop down? Select. No mandatory attribute. Either you can give ID or name, that is user defined. That is all about single select drop down. Next one, multi select drop down. Then for that also select drop down. Here what you will be giving the mandatory attribute? Multiple equal to true, so that it becomes a multi select drop down. Here you can give both either ID or name, that is user defined. Next element, text area. Text area. What is the tag to create text area? Text area is the tag to create the text area. No mandatory attribute. Either you can give ID or name, that is user defined. What is the next one? File choosing button. File choosing upload button or file choosing button. What is the tag to create that? Input type equal to button. File. Input type equal to file, so that it will create file choosing button. ID or name, that is user defined. That's it. Done. All the whatever I have written for last 1 hour of code, I have made it into one tabular column now. If you have this, it is very easy for you, right? Now it's just like a shortcuts what I am giving. Okay, first take down this, later on you can take down the code as well. You have another 20 minutes to take down. You can take down this. down this, and you can take down just two minutes, and you can take down this as well. And once you are done with this, take down this, and you can take down this as well. And finally take down this and this.